posted at staff's earliest convenience. Any public comment today? No public comment. All right. Speeding along, everybody get a chance to review the August minutes. Anyone have any additions or corrections from the August minutes? No additions or corrections. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes. Anyone would like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
A motion. Do we have a second?
I'd like to second the motion to approve the
Have a
minutes.
second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? No discussion. So all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Right, minutes are passed. On to the financial report. Anything to draw our attention to on the financial report? Anybody have any questions this month on it?
Just a quick update. As of today, the report shows month ending. As of today, playground materials and supplies, the budget was $28,000. You know, we split that with the Public Works. Playgrounds, materials and supplies was $26,760. So like I said, the budget that we split was 28, so it came in at 26,760. And Public Works, their budget was 14, and they came in, they're at 12,061. They still have some money to spend this year with the playground, but substantially it won't change much. So that line as a whole was 42,000, and I think the total of it is 38,000. So it's about $4,000, $5,000 under budget. Playground staff, that number's complete now with everything shut down. It came in at 80,153 with a budget of 90,000. So those are two that I wanted to call out specifically. The pool budget is not finalized yet. There were a couple of hours with Chris, so we'll have a final number for the pool salary at the next meeting.
Wonderful. Any other questions for us? All right, would someone like to make a motion to approve the financial report?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the financial report.
And do we have a second?
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, financial reports done with. On to subcommittee reports. Mike, how's the water in the pool?
Water at the pool is great.
Before we jump into that, I made a mistake and left the Spooky Hollow Committee report off. So when we get to that in the director's report, Sally can talk about the last meeting that we had with that.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, Randy, it's good. So we had a pool committee meeting yesterday at the pool. Chris was there, and I asked him to give him a manager report. And it was basically like same as the last time we asked for a manager report. Basically, no issues, good membership feedback. He was pleased that he was able to, stick to operating hours, and the staff was great. He said that at this point, 90% of the staff is going to return for next season, which is good. And he said, we asked about if only taking cash was a problem, and he said no. So everything with that. So then we moved on to the program wrap up, and then basically the swimnastics grew, improved in participation and revenues. The sweat and mermaids, it was bad weather, not a stereotypical summer, but they expect more for next year. The lap swimming was good. It happened during sweat. Lots of good feedback from the members, and the Gaga pit and the wiffle ball were big hits this summer. So lots of participation. I'm going to defer the swim team report to Pamela.
Yep, the swim team had a great season. We had a new coach this year, Ashley Zappacosta. She fit in swimmingly with with the members. She knew a lot of the kids from when she had some of Exeter for swimmers. So she already had a relationship with some of them. She already had a relationship with the assistant coaches. So that all worked out really well. We're looking forward to next year. We'll have even more swim meets at home next year, and we'll be bringing back the invitational next year. So we're excited about that. And as long as we can just kind of keep the team together, it'll be just as good as this year was.
Thank you, Pamela.
And remind me, when's the invitational? That's at the 4th of July event?
No. The invitational, we will pick the date for that during the late April, early May BCSA meeting.
Okay.
But it won't be during 4th of July.
I feel like
Usually it's Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Saturday, but it can't be
Not
that Saturday.
So just a recap of looking forward to next season. Chris would like some new lifeguard equipment, basically the tubes. Talk to Randy about that. Looking to add some backup guards for late season. Over the off-season, pool committee will be working on a new scale, pay scale-wise, to attract new guards. Essentially, we're paying $8.50 an hour for new guards, and everybody's paying 10. And we're thinking about maybe offering them more with smaller raises, just to kind of offset everything. Steve said, with regard to the pool infrastructure, he's going to work on the expansion joint and patch the pool. He's going to drain it. And he'd like to buy new trash cans for the pool, the big heavy ones. So for the 4th of July, we talked about this before. The fireworks will be on Friday, 7/3, July 3rd, and the midnight swim will be on the 2nd. And we, as a pool committee, came up with that I don't know how to say this, Randy. There's always been a tradition in Wyomissing to let anybody in on the 4th of July and Labor Day. Pool committee recommends that it's only open to residents. We don't want to move forward with that. And then the only other thing that we came up with from the pool committee was that with regard to membership, pool committee does not recommend a price increase for next year. And, that's my report.
Just a quick clarification question. When so you said about for 4th of July, like open to residents.
Yeah, I guess it was
and
open.
their guests, or just residents
I-
only?
I think we're going to explore that, but I think it's just residents now,
In the past, it was like an unwritten law
right?
or tradition, whatever you want to call it, that the pool was open to anybody on the 4th of July. And when I started, we kind of curbed that back and not advertising the fact that it was open to everybody. From a buildings and grounds standpoint, for the public works guys, it was a nightmare with how many people were in the pool to get it back up to standards for the next day.
I don't know who they were.
And that was the other thing. Talking to Kate and Mike, who's been there before, is literally it was an open door policy. People just walked in and you had no idea who was coming into the pool. And Chris said that with his CPO is not allowed, because if something happened and you don't know who that is who got hurt, you have no record of who that person was that walked in, because they might not have checked in, they just walked in. So what the pool committee is recommending is that we keep it to strictly residents, and that'll limit, we won't have, I hate to say outsiders, but we won't have as many people coming to it.
So would like a resident would give their name and address when
Yeah.
they came in?
So it'd be open to residents that are not necessarily members, but not to guests and not to others from outside of the.
It would still be pool and you could have it buy a guest pass if you wanted to, but it won't be open to somebody from Shillington just to walk into the pool.
So it would be, to make sure I understand, it would be regular guest privileges. So if I'm a pool member,
Yeah.
I can bring in my guest with a guest pass on 4th of July.
Yeah.
But if I am just a resident, non-pool member, I cannot bring in a guest with me on the 4th of July. Correct?
Right.
Does that make sense?
I think what it has to do, and Mike touched on this, is it's going to take a little bit of ironing it out for the language to make sure it's clear, because we've had hiccups in the past with language. So we want to make sure that we completely flush it out.
And that's going to be not just for the 4th, but that's
Labor Day is.
every day. So if I'm a resident, non-pool member, and I show up to the pool, I can buy a day pass for myself at any point in time.
Yes.
Okay. But if I buy a day pass, can I bring in a guest with me on the
You
day
have
pass?
historically been able to do that. Like I've definitely, because my mom has come with me to the pool before, and she's not a resident. We definitely have done that multiple times.
Or you were a pool member. And
No, I'm not a member, like a resident.
You're a resident,
So
but
your
you don't
ID,
pass, yeah.
writes on your name, and you're bringing in a guest, and they pay the same fee.
Yeah. In the past, the rec guides have always been very vague in that. And in today's social media world, it's exploded with people misunderstanding it, misreading it, whisper down the lane, and so on. So I think the language has got to be clear this coming year.
I don't know why we would refuse like a paying, like in my situation, like where I'm paying the daily fee and then I'm bringing in my mom, as long as she has her identification, writes down her name, like shows her identification, you know who she is, to your point about the CPO, and she pays revenue towards the pool. Well, I understand on the 4th of July, it's nuts. You probably don't want to have that extra layer of people there, but on just a regular day,
Yeah.
I don't think is that my understanding? You're kind of trying to curb down the number on the 4th of July, like.
Yeah, I just think
Make it
it's
more
like
manageable.
the whole free thing
Yeah.
for everybody. So we're just trying to like, get that organized.
Right.
And we want
It's not a
to,
free-for-all.
yeah. And you know what, when I had told Randy this yesterday, I told Pamela as well, when I was manager, I knew that existed. I didn't think that it was still in effect, 30 years later, but it was. And then one of the residents contacted me, said, "Hey, Mike, can I get in the pool for you?" I said, "I don't think so." But it ended up that he could, and he corrected me.
But you're also saying that you're going to have that with the pool committee and get some better.
Better language, yes.
Language.
Yeah.
It's going to be for the rec guide? So-
Yes. Yeah.
So more clarity on that.
Yeah.
Mike, sorry I couldn't make it to the.
That's okay, Sal. I appreciate you.
Yeah, but was there any talk about any wrap up with the swim lessons? Or, I know that,
I mean, not really. I mean, we did it the last time when you were at the last
Okay.
one, and we wrapped that up,
yeah,
and
so no further.
not really, no.
I was just curious.
I heard all good things.
Oh,
Yeah. And
People were like, "Oh, you're on." Well, yes. So nobody complained to me. So I was like, "Okay, that's great."
everything was good.
Yeah, it was a good summer.
Yeah, I mean, the parents that I talked to when I went to observe were all very happy. So, but I know they had like, maybe just like a little bit more left, so, yeah, okay.
Wonderful. Anything else for the pool? Okay, Liz, you're up. Student
Okay.
Advisory
Well,
Committee.
Randy, you're gonna have to help me. This is a little bit you
Frustrating.
need to regroup. So have we met twice, I think, actually now 3 times. We're having a hard time getting the kids to actually show up to meetings. And so they just did like a survey and they decided on the date and then, okay, we're all gonna be there. Yes, we're all gonna be there. And then it's like, I can't be there. Oh, I can't be there. I can't do that. And so I think we need to regroup on that. They're supposed to be planning the haunted house. So we need to figure out with them I think a different format, because it doesn't seem like the kids are able to commit and show up to a meeting, I know, once a month for this. So I think we're gonna have to just rethink our planning on it and then go for it. I mean, they did. Well, a Zoom, or honestly, what I was thinking with them is that like, maybe we don't all need to necessarily meet together and we can like do some planning where we can kind of just check in. So just more to come. So right now, they're not really doing anything. They were electing, they were really focused on electing a president.
It's all, it
I was
sounds
saying,
like resume.
Pamela probably has the inside scoop more than I do.
Sounds like
I don't.
I think Pamela
Kids that just want to write it on
kind
the
of
resume.
nailed it with her comment. When we had our 4th of July meeting, she said 20% of the kids do 100% of
Yeah.
the work.
Right.
She's
And
right.
it's similar to any board or anything else. It's these 20% of these kids at the school do everything. From sports to clubs to committees to everything. And they're juggling,
Yeah.
and I'm more
Okay.
frustrated than anybody because I took this on as a personal thing to not let it fail. And it feels to me that it's failing. And I don't know if it's how to communicate to these kids, how for them to communicate to us, corral them, what it's going to take. Liz said that she had some ideas, so I'm all for it.
Yes.
Is this the form to share? what-
Yeah.
Okay, so I did mention, I was like, they're a little stressed that you guys haven't met and Spooky Hollow's right around the corner. And the response, don't. The response
It's getting
was-
We're
recorded.
live.
response was, it's not even October.
Oh my God.
So that's.
Teenager like, oh my God.
No sense of
I was like,
urgency.
mm,
None.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately,
It is not even.
unfortunately, like the challenge with these types of things is always like, can you find the kids that aren't spread too thin? Like that's like, because ideally we would be engaging kids who aren't already engaged. And this would be their thing. Like this would be one of their 2 things that they're really passionate about and engaged. But how do you find those kids? And how do you avoid the kids that just want to write it on their resume? I'm the president of the Student Advisory Council, and just write it on their application to college. So like that's always a challenge. Like with any type of high school club, extracurricular, how do you weed out the ones who really want to do the work versus the ones that just want the title?
And my opinion of this, Randy, is, I wouldn't take it too
It's not
personally.
personal. It's
I would-
profitable.
I think Randy is taking
I
it
mean, it's-
100%.
I think that, we have to be able to realize, with the kids, part of what we are trying to do with it is cultivate that ability to have those meetings and develop those planning skills. So being able to expect straight away that we're going to have a bunch of kids who can absolutely show up 100% of the time, we're going to get everything done for them, I think is that they're going to do everything themselves is a little unrealistic. So we are going to take some bumps. We need more than one at a time. I get that, but I think part of it is just continuing to provide the 4. So again, even if the kids don't show up, the fact that we're still trying to engage with them, we're trying to bring them to the table, and when it takes off, it's going to take off just like everything else. It's not necessarily, the very, very first time you try it. And again, we're on iteration 2 of going through this. So hopefully we're going to, continue to improve and
Yeah.
I
find
was
that
gonna
going
say,
forward.
I'm pretty optimistic about this group too, that they're gonna do great. They're gonna create a wonderful haunted house. They are gonna be a little more last minute than we would like. But maybe that's part of the learning experience too, when they're like, oh my gosh, I really had to pull it together at the last minute. That wasn't so pleasant. Maybe we should have started planning a little ahead of time, maybe.
I mean, they do live in a world of on-demand TV and overnight shipping. So there's no rush. They can get it.
Yeah. But I think,
your own
yeah,
committee?
it sounds like we need to stay on that.
7.
7? I'm off the top of my head, yeah.
I do wonder, in the future too, if you ask, these were kids that just applied, right? They weren't, they were self-nominated or teacher nominated.
I'm not 100% sure because I don't work.
A combination of everything. Basically, I went through the service club, I went through the principal, I talked to a ton of different teachers and coaches who gave me names of kids.
Okay.
So
So I was gonna say, it's almost like, obviously this is gonna help for this year, hopefully they'll pull it together. But maybe asking teachers for kids that are very conscientious, but aren't spread too thin. Like, and asking for those names as opposed to like the name that comes, like this kid is in everything and they're all super involved already. Like, that's not the kid we actually want. We want the kid that's conscientious and has good ideas, but isn't spread too thin, like in the future, you know? Yeah.
Any other
Challenge.
questions for the Student Advisory Committee?
Wish us luck.
Yeah.
Well, you have all of the luck, all this, and
It'll be
I'm
great.
sure that they're going to have something.
Pull it. It's gonna be fun.
Conscientious, quiet.
So on to me then for 4th of July. So we did have a parade committee meeting. One of the things from the feedback from the 4th was we had some conversation around combining the two parade committees together, having like a parade super committee. At the moment, I think how we want to try to progress is we're going to keep the parades for the most part separate, as separate entities. But when Randy contacts participants, he's going to solicit the participants that traditionally are for both parades or participants going forward for both parades at the same time. So we're going to have one ask to be in both parades. So combine it to the participants in that capacity, but still let the parades otherwise operate independently from each other. So we'll try that out this year. We'll see how it goes, and we'll make changes next year if we need to. Another topic we talked about was the fireworks. We had some feedback from police chief just around safety concerns, backing up the moonlight swim and the fireworks together. So this year, 4th of July is, or next year, 4th of July is on a Saturday. So we're looking to do the fireworks are set, those are the Friday, correct?
Third.
The 3rd. So we pushed the moonlight swim back one day to the 2nd, the Thursday. So now it's going to be like a whole weekend of 4th of July type activities. So that way we don't have the main safety concerns, we don't have to clear the pool. So we'll see how this works. And again, if it's a better situation, we can easily do it next year with the 4th on a Sunday, and then pray for a leap year down the road to fix it up from there.
Can I add to that? We also thought that it made sense to have the moonlight swim on Thursday because the recognized holiday for 4th of July was that Friday. So families wouldn't necessarily have work the next day after the moonlight swim. So that's kind of
That's a
worked
good
out.
point.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the federal holiday is observed on the Friday.
It also might help with water quality at the pool, right? Like, because like if it's within a 24-hour period, all those people in for the moonlight swim, and the next day, all those people in for the 4th of July.
Another
Spread it out a
point we
little
didn't
bit.
think of, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rick, I talked to Chief Phillips today, and he basically gave it the thumbs up, that he agrees with the plan.
Okay, wonderful.
Good idea.
And then the other conversation we had, I know it's everybody's favorite topic, but the parade committee jumped ahead of it, looking at the theme for next year already. So,
It is the 250.
so we are going to do the 250th. We're just going to go with, try to coattail on the federal celebration and get their graphic package when it does eventually launch. So hopefully we're going to be co-branded and not reinvent the wheel for next year. So that's out of the way as well. One of the other ideas to just start floating around in everybody's head is, we've talked a lot about being WYO-centric and getting more WYO participation. So one of the ideas was trying to get more people involved in the float category again. And it was brought up that we should probably start trying to lead by example from this committee, just to throw one more thing on our plate. So think about what we can try to do to have a rec board.
So after we
float.
hand out flags, much the house is organized that we all run down and jump on the float. And we're like,
So,
okay,
I
and we
mean,
just like run on and off at different
my
That's
first
pretty
thought would be that we try to turn the flag truck into a float of some capacity. So, again.
Oh yeah, we already have, that is our float. Like
It's-
literally, because you have the walking
So-
people around the flag truck.
It naturally aligns. Again, just kind of floating it out there. We have
Again.
most of a year to plan. So if anybody has any easy ideas, but again, we'll talk about that some more. But we thought it would be a good way for us to really show that we've taken those comments to heart and really want to try to drive that participation again. And the other things we talked about along that is we're going to try to just get a little bit more proactive, putting sign-up QR codes at events, possibly have one at the pool, at the playground, maybe sticking some in the parklands, and just being more proactive, soliciting people for that participation, not just in the rec guide and not just in a social media post. So trying to get out in front of people to solicit that as well.
Yeah, it did feel like we were lacking on residents in the parade this year.
Yep.
Like I told Rick, the tough part is people have a choice. They can either watch the parade and drink Bloody Marys, or they can be in the parade.
Yeah.
And more people are choosing watch the parade and drink.
Yes.
Or kids are choosing
That's-
candy, right? Getting
Right.
candy over being in the parade and decorating their wagon.
Yeah, my kids now choose to watch rather than to be in the parade, which is interesting, so. Yeah, because.
It's tough.
What?
They're not
It's tough to
walking
get
stands.
people.
I know. So, it's just interesting.
So any other ideas that you have, we're
Yeah.
really going to try to be.
Rick, I think one thing that what we talked about was purchasing flags, that we went through all of our flags this year.
We did go through all the flags. So the budget line item that we have is going to include purchase for flags this year and then a little bit of an increase over the budget to see if there's any other participants that we can try to get at the parade overall.
Well, and are we thinking for next, because there is, what's going on in Philly? There's like a big soccer tournament happening that might be drawn, like we might, and with it, so I'm sorry. So that might draw more people out to us. And well, just if you know, if you're Googling 4th of July celebration, I feel like Wyomissing is going to come up and we're not far from Philly. And with it being the, what is
Yeah.
it, the quadro, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
good point.
I just think we have to be thinking about that increased crowd possibility for next year.
Are we?
But it's
Is
also-
the expectation to give everyone a flag, you know what I mean? Like with the increase, is that what you're kind of
Well,
going
I
with
wasn't
that?
even thinking about the flag, like, I just think we might have more everything around the parade for that, so, yeah, I mean, we don't have to give everybody a flag, just whoever's out there, but like, just,
Everybody gets a flag.
Start bringing in thousands.
well, right, like, it's just, it might be a bigger event, but then it's also on a weekend, so then, you know, maybe more people will go to the beach. I just, you know, I was talking to Lucine Sahelnik, is who actually, like, put that on my radar, I was like, oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So. There's something else, like, there's a couple things going on, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
anyway.
I appreciate the comments, but we'll definitely keep it in mind and, you know,
Rick, do you have another meeting set for parade stuff?
at the moment, we do not,
Okay.
but
What if the kids had like the option to peel off, like, so like say like you have your family is on, you know, what, like, I don't know, 1600 block of, is it 1500 block of Gerard that's on the route, right? Like if say your family, like say as they walk the parade and then the kid gets like to that spot and they just peel off, but they had their wagon decorated, they went to the judging, they participated in the front half of the parade.
They always have that option, they can always hop
They always
out at
got-
any point.
I just don't know how many kids do that.
I'm not sure if that's something we'd necessarily want to lean into.
Yeah, you don't want to advertise that. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think of how you can get more kids to want to be in the parade. You don't have to walk the whole route. You could just walk
But even,
half of
but
it.
it like, community groups used to do like homemade floats. I mean, that was like that was one of my favorite parts of the parade, was like people would make these, and who's been around, right? Like there's, like that I'm like, who's been around for a month?
Yeah, absolutely.
There was like these really cool floats and like kids would participate in making them and like different groups, and that was a really fun part of the parade. And yeah, we don't have that right now, so maybe
We talked about that.
Or float will bring it back.
Exactly.
That's like a lost thing.
Yeah. Or you,
Pamela talked about the Exeter homecoming
That's
parade.
this Thursday, if anybody wants to come.
If
Thursday.
you think about it, you know, we all, growing up, I mean, at least me in the South, I know that we made homecoming parades with chicken wire and colored tissue paper. And that was the coolest thing in the world, was to be on the float committee and make floats. And unfortunately, school's out, so it's not like homecoming where you have a built-in audience.
doesn't do that.
We'll have to have
Communicating with them is tough.
Anybody, like, we'll have to bring it like.
Float building
a float
workshop.
Building a
Oh, like,
workshop.
I don't like set design.
Float
Or-
building a workshop.
Or you do the hills versus the hollow, adults like for float,
Float?
like kind of like the dot, what is the court ball?
Float building.
Yeah.
The court ball, they do a court ball tournament. You do like a float competition,
Oh, that's a cute idea.
the hills versus the hollow. You can each place can have 3 entries. You want to bring back like, competition. I feel like competition's part of it. If you want to get people like riled up about it.
Well, something for the committee to think about for next year.
Absolutely.
Add it to the list.
It's on the list already. But we'll let you know when the next, I'll let you know when the next parade committee is. We don't have a meeting set at the moment. We kind of got this first round of stuff over. So we'll see when we get the next meeting going off for that. So that's everything I have for the 4th, unless anybody has any other questions, comments, ideas, suggestions. All right, over to you, Randy.
Everybody got a copy of the director's report. The facilities rentals for the year are about $8,000. It's under what I forecasted. I don't really have an excuse or a reason why I think it is. It just seems like the Hills Pavilion didn't get rented near as much as it did in years past. Stonehouse is still on par for what it typically rents, but the pavilions don't seem to be renting as often as they used to in years past.
Did we upgrade that, or we up that fee going into last year, or was that?
That was a couple
It's
years.
upped in
It wasn't for last year, so it wasn't a direct increase.
2022. The number under revenue under rec miscellaneous is a little misleading because it's impacted by the donations for 4th of July. I think it says $25,000 on the budget, but about 8,000 of that is Mummers money, which we're still due some. I think there's still 3 people who haven't paid yet that Ron thought he had commitment from but haven't paid. But the total actually collected is $17,100 as part of the fundraising campaign. The events, the end of summer party was great. We had over 150 people show up. Had a live band play. The wiffle ball tournament was a blast. The finals were the dads against the kids. It ended up, I think there were 9 teams total entered, and the finals were exciting. It was a lot of fun. The wiffle ball in general was just a blast. Stargazing, I'm gonna let Rick talk about this because Rick was there Friday night.
It was unbelievable. We had 175 to 200 people.
Oh,
at
wow.
Stargazing.
For Stargate,
We had the line to view one of the telescopes, I think was 30 people long at one point in time. And Elon, the guy from Berks Astronomy, it was just talking to everybody that came up, and it was even a little bit of an overcast night. So this is really something that I think the community has gotten behind. It's just really become tremendous. If you guys haven't been out to one, I don't think you can yet this year because that was the last one that we were going to have. So put it on your calendars.
is that a testament to like the social media stuff? Like,
I think it's just
the last one I was at was like
yeah, I
20
mean,
people at most.
I think it's a combination of things. I think, you put in the right weather combination. It was a good night to be outside. Berks Astronomy is a really active group. They do this with a lot of other municipalities. And this isn't our first time doing it. I think this is our third full season.
Third one of the year.
Third one of the
season.
Third season. So I think it's just, people are starting to talk about it. Everyone gets a little busier and a little busier. So it was just tremendous building up those events.
Elon he's one of he kind of directs it. It was a lesson to learn that night because he is so busy that he needs a microphone to talk to people. He needs a headset with a little mic, and because he's nothing but a Wikipedia. We saw the Chinese space station fly over, which was, everybody's like, oh my God, what are they doing? But, it was funny leading up to it. There were more phone calls and emails ever of people reaching out. Hey, what do I need to do? Do I need to do anything? So the whole week I was telling people it's going to be busy, but it far surpassed what I expected.
It's fantastic. What were the demographics like? I'm curious about.
Everybody. There were lovers on blankets. There were probably 7 people that brought their own telescopes that invited others to use them. That everybody was so welcoming.
I like the plus ones.
Berks Astronomy had 3, one super high powered one, and a couple of other ones. They also had a telescope that all it did was take pictures. You didn't get to look at it. You could look at an iPad and see the pictures that it was taking, but those were amazing. But it's overwhelming how many people showed up. And there were a lot of takeaways of how to make it better for the future. But Jessica's right. Typically, we get 25, 30, 35. This was almost 200, 250. And I counted in line at one time for that big telescope was 52 people.
I was curious, did those people say where they parked?
I'll let Rick answer that one.
Why did we get complaints about the parking?
No, I mean,
They were everywhere.
I'm just thinking of where you were and the limited parking spaces to there.
I mean, I can.
Like Park and Shade coming up, I'm kind of curious, where were these 150?
So the lot was absolutely full. Everybody parked in every square inch of grass that they could find, kind of down below. And then both sides of the street, for the most part, from what I could see, people were mindful of not parking on the Highlands grass where there was the sign. But when I got there, someone was pulling out, or I would have been looping for spots for a while.
The neat thing about it was Elon will stay as long as people stay. We didn't leave till after 11:15, 11:20. Because
gosh.
people were still asking questions. And all I kept doing was looking at my watch going, can I just go home? I need to lock the gate. And he'll stay and talk to the last person leaves. And they love him. So overall, a great event. This weekend is our next movies in the park. Moana 2 at Happy Hollow at 8 o'clock. Followed by next weekend at Berkshire Heights Playground at 8 o'clock, the movie Luca. The Fall Walk series starts on Sunday, September 28th. My Welsh friend is practicing as we speak. He went for a walk and did the tour today with all his sheets. He wrote a complete script dating back to the early 1700s when the Welsh bought the land from William Penn's sons. I'm doing the map now. And again, this is one that I'm already getting phone calls on too, because once we publicize that we're going to have a guided tour, everybody wants to join it. So looking forward to that.
Is there a sign up for that, or is that just a?
Show up.
Okay.
Is the QR code, like, what will the QR code take you to? Will it take you to, is like audio?
No.
Like, would he be like,
The same sheets as last year that you'll pull up on your phone. But the idea is if you go to the 10 o'clock, you get to hear it. If you don't get to make it, the QR codes will still be up. So.
kind of cool if it was like a, even if he wasn't there, you could hear his voice.
We'll
like,
put it on-
like,
we'll put it on the
like
list
an
for-
audio, you know? Like maybe not a guided tour, but like an audio, like you could still go scan the QR code and he'd still like, if he's practicing, that'd be cool. Anyway, just thought.
The Booing House contest decorating starts October 1st. Two new things. Last year and the year before, we tried to have a pumpkin carving contest at Spooky Hollow, and the results were less than what we thought. But the reality is, who wants to carry a 25-pound pumpkin 150 yards from their car and then take it home with them? And so we didn't get a lot of participation. So we're going to try doing a online pumpkin carving contest where you'll take a picture, hashtag us, and we'll let likes determine who wins that contest. The other new one that we're excited about doing is the Pumpkin People of Wyomissing. Have you guys heard of a place called Jackson, New Hampshire? It's right beside Conway, New Hampshire, which was home for Old Man on the Mountain. It's a famous spot in New Hampshire. East Conway, West Conway, North Conway. They had the Old Man on the Mountain. Unfortunately, his face has slidden off the mountain over the years, wear and tear. But 40 years ago, Jackson, New Hampshire was pissed that Conway got all the tourists to come up and look at the leaves changing and so on. So they came up with this program called the Pumpkin People of Jackson. It's been around for 40 years. It's quickly spread across the country. I tested it. I reached out to about 10 or 11 different businesses. And I looked at it as a way to bridge the gap between giving our residents something to go do and also promote our local businesses by driving people to go to those. So people like Loomis, Kimberton Whole Foods, Sly Fox, the Wyomissing Hair Place right beside us, Leo Design, Borough Hall. Basically what you do is you build these pumpkin people. You don't carve the pumpkin because they rot. It starts October 6th, and it can be anything you want. Somebody's already talked about doing Travis Kelce proposing to Taylor Swift. There's one in the past that had the Beatles walking across Abbey Road. They can be anything you want to. And the Golden Girls. I sent an email out today with a link to this farm up in New Hampshire that does it, and what they do is unbelievable. But it's spread from Hawaii to Florida, all over the place. But again, it's a way to get the community out, go look at things. We'll have a People's Choice Award, but the idea is to help promote our businesses as well. So far, we have about 11 people signed up. I'd like to get 20 to 25. What we would do is put out a map on social media, Wyomissing Rec, go see these people and vote who you think is the winner. So it runs the month of October.
So wait, can you, I still don't quite, so they're dressing, they have like it's like a scarecrow, pumpkin head?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then they go to the business?
It can be businesses, residents, the
Oh,
Wyomissing
so the
football.
businesses, you're looking for the businesses to come up with the
Yeah,
pumpkin?
they do it, but
Oh,
their
okay.
investment is
As-
$15 for pumpkins, whatever. But like the Wyomissing football team is gonna do their offensive line at the gate. to get in.
That was really cute.
Girl Scouts
The
want to
cat
do it.
statue.
Everything's a.
So this week I did a couple of teasers on social media, and so on Friday we'll announce the whole project going out to everybody. Any questions on pumpkin carving, house decorating, or the pumpkin people? Now I'll let Sally kind of walk through an update on Spooky Hollow.
Yeah, sure. So Spooky Hollow, our date is October 25th, 2 to 5 p.m. So it's like an hour, scheduled an hour earlier to kind of, make use of the daylight and, not have to be doing so much under the cover of dark and not needing as much lighting. Our rain date is the following day, October 26th, same time frame, 2 to 5 p.m. We're really excited. My fantastic committee includes Jesse and Kareem and Jess L, who aren't here. And we really just jumped into it, started planning a lot of the broad strokes with entertainment, concessions, activities, carnival games. Brandy has been constantly emailing, and we have a lot of different groups committed. So the planning is really going fantastic. It's going to be largely similar to how we did it last year. The big thing and we've already talked about this a little bit, the big thing that's going to be different is our student advisory committee is going to pull together and create a fantastic.
Yes, they are.
Fantastic haunted house, which is going to be on, if you're facing the pavilion, it'll be the right side. They're going to use that. So that's going to be the big thing that's different, but otherwise, we're just going to try to improve on what we've done. We took a lot of notes in years past, little things like we need more tables for pumpkin decorating. So we're going to just try to improve kind of where we're at. We're going to be, my next step, and Randy and I are kind of coordinating to start recruiting volunteers, because we recruit a good part of the school to help with that.
It's at 20%.
Yeah, 20%. And we're talking about, I didn't get a chance to reply to your email, but last year we had the Sanderson sisters come and we played Hocus Pocus. So we're thinking about doing the Addams Family. I like the 2019 PG movie.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pull the audience on that, because I don't know the different versions, the different films you had asked about.
Yeah.
Which film to show for the Addams Family?
Yeah, we definitely
wouldn't
have to
be
go
scary.
with the most PG based on,
Yeah.
we have, some really young audience members. And we're looking to see if Wednesday can join us, and as a character. So the company, Storybook Party.
Storybook Party.
Storybook Party. Lent us the Sanderson sisters. They have a whole host of characters, including Wednesday. So that's kind of tentatively where we're going with that. And yeah, any questions? Oh, super important, if you have any free time, we need all hands on deck This is a massive event. You know, Randy thinks it's like maybe our third biggest event. I almost wonder if it's our second after 4th of July. I don't know. But it's pretty big. So if you have any time, please come out. It's gonna be super fun, and yeah.
One thing that, the free popcorn's one of the biggest hits. You can have all the concessions you want, but free popcorn for kids is always a good one. Unfortunately, the borough's 2 popcorn machines took a crap and have died.
No.
In talking with Greg, it was probably cheaper for us to buy one than invest the time, energy, parts to try to fix it, if we even could. Kareem stepped up and purchased one for us. So that was a,
We had plenty of free popcorn from Redner's.
yeah, they did, they're doing the movies. But they'll give us the bags, but they didn't want to do Spooky Hollow. There were too many people. So they are the official popcorn sponsor for the movies, but they didn't want to do Spooky Hollow. But the nice thing was, like I said, Kareem purchased and donated a popcorn machine for us.
Which I don't think he was looking for public recognition, but
Yeah.
he just did it quietly, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to add anything
No,
or if
that's
anyone
good.
has any questions.
Programming wise, the summer playground program ended revenue wise with 71,497 with a forecast of 76. So we fell a little bit shorter than I thought we would. I went over the expenses. Both of those are in line. The pool, the revenues were very close to what was forecasted. They came in at 150 with a forecast of 151. And both the materials and supplies and labors are going to come in under budget. Facilities-wise, the Quarry soccer fields, what I consider the most underutilized piece of property that the borough owns. We have an agreement with the Wyomissing Area Soccer Club that they are the primary user. They're in the middle of their fall season. But this year with the construction that's going on with the school fields, the junior high boys program is using the Quarry fields. And they're donating $100 for every home game back to the soccer club for using that.
You know how many home games they have?
I'm not positive. I think it's 3. So it's not a ton of money, but they practice and they have their games there. I just finished a deal with the women's rugby club. There's 3 girls that are on the team that are borough residents. They reached out to me. Unfortunately, they lost their practice facility. They're going to be practicing at the Quarry Fields on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 till 9:30 after the soccer club is finished. And they'll be paying the borough $300 to use the fields.
For the season.
For their practices. Their games aren't there. They're just practicing the month of October there.
Month of October. Got it.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays. Berkshire Heights, if you guys drove by, you probably saw the playground project is underway. They've stripped through it. They ripped all the stuff out. They've started laying out the new ADA paths. They did some treescaping to clear those paths. So that project is looking at October 1st is a really aggressive date. I think it'll probably be the middle of October.
It looked like they got the retaining wall first layer done today.
Did they? So I know that the timelines were super aggressive. I'm not going to, sign that it's going to be done by then.
Can I just say, go back to the rugby, just so you know, like, the fee that we're charging the rugby is like very low compared to like what a school district would charge for a field rental. Like a field rental, a grass field at a school district would be like $80 an hour. So we're charging $25 an hour. So I just wanted to make sure you, like the going rate, like for other grass fields is significantly higher,
Okay.
just for the future.
Also at Berkshire Heights, the baseball team the Little League and softball league, they don't have fall ball, but we signed a deal with the Reading Hospital. Again, several residents here work there and are part of this league. They came to us and they want to run a kickball league, and they'll be donating $300 or paying for the fields to use those as well. Happy Hollow, something we just finalized is with the I Am Able Foundation. They'll be hosting wheelchair rugby demos. Someone donated wheelchair rugby wheelchairs or specialized chairs. So they've invited people to come out. So we gave them 3 dates to host these, what they call crash and dash days.
So just to be clear, is it for people who are normally in a wheelchair to try rugby? Or is it for people that aren't normally in a wheelchair?
No, it's
feel
for-
like what it feels like to use a wheelchair and play rugby?
Oh, it's for people in wheelchairs.
Okay, I just asked because I know IMAPLE does sometimes, like, they have the hand bikes and stuff, and they have people that
This is
wouldn't.
this is for wheelchair bound.
Yeah, but they use the hand bikes to make it like, so you feel how hard it is to use an arm bike, like they
That's not
have
what
like
this
kind of
is.
that, it's not like that, okay.
That's not what this is.
Okay, thank you.
Are they gonna put up signage so that residents know that those 3 Saturday mornings that it'll be closed off?
Yep. And I posted it on social media, and I'll send out emails through Wyomissing Rec. Lastly, for Happy Hollow, on October 10th, the Wyomissing Area School District will be hosting their homecoming parade and bonfire. The parade will start in West Reading. I don't know what that street is, but if you, it's a straight shot from the elementary school all the way into Happy Hollow. They've worked with the police. They've got all their necessary paperwork in for street closures. Kelly, I can't remember her last name, Eisenhower, the head of the football booster club, is coordinating it. I think they're going to have 2 food trucks. We're working out the details, whether we need a stage, extra lighting. They'll probably use the Bigfoot speaker, but they'll host the bonfire itself in the outfield of Happy Hollow.
Does that burn, that dead area, going to impact Happy or Spooky Hollow at all?
Nope. It's out in the field, but they're going to come in the next day. They use magnets to pick up any metals. They haul out all the ashes. They reseed it.
So they'll reseed and rope it off?
Yep. Any questions about the facilities? A couple of last things, the vending policy, the solicitor got back to me and gave me guidelines or updates, changes to make to the policy that I had written, so I'll be working on those, but we'll be looking for 2026 to start that. Last, and Kathy asked me to remind everybody about the FBI clearances, and if you haven't gotten with her yet to get everything straightened out, please just follow up with her.
And Randy, if we submitted what we thought, everything we thought we needed, and we haven't heard from her, then we're good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, she would have reached out. I think there were only 3 people that she reached out to, and I think maybe a couple of people have already got it squared away.
The vendor fees don't start until 2026. That means the lighting of the greens vendors won't be charged this year? Okay.
That'll all start for next year.
Good theme,
Yeah.
that's good, for the calendar year.
Any questions on the director's report? Wonderful.
Old business, so we have more discussion on the field naming.
I have updates. I sent everybody the mock-up. Unfortunately, Jason couldn't be here tonight. This is a mock-up. This isn't his final artwork. This is just an idea of what they could do. Kind of laid it in on the backdrop of what it would look like. This is approximately 2 feet by 6 feet. It'd be made out of styrene, which is a weatherproof material. It's a super heavy-duty plastic is the best way to put it. It would be fastened both sides of the fence, and so that way they could take it down at the end of the season. They could put it back up at the start of the next season. I know that was some of the questions from the last meeting. What would it be made out of? What's it going to look like? How long is it going to be up? But that, just as a reminder, the contract states that they're not allowed to put any signage up. So what we, as a board, need to determine is, do we want to allow that? And if so, then it would have to be made a motion to recommend it up to Borough Council.
When is the season? April, is April the
April to
start?
June.
April to June?
Yep.
That's it? It's April to June?
Yeah, they don't have summer ball and they don't have fall ball. Baseball is a declining sport. Unfortunately.
And Michelle, your concern, I know you were kind of concerned about giving naming rights. Can you remind us kind of where you are on that?
Still feel the same. How do you say yes to one and no to everybody else after? You're opening the door. It's setting a precedent. And then we've had other requests that we've said no to.
But we did offer the suggestion of the plaque, like we've allowed with other people.
Yep.
Like a small plaque, a little bronze plaque, I think 5x7. We're still waiting for two. We don't have one from either one of them, do we? Okay.
What are those for?
So instead of naming the field, you put a plaque up
A
recognizing
small
the
plaque
service.
somewhere recognizing Ed from it.
Would it be okay to put the plaque on the backstop?
Anybody's gonna see a 5x7 plaque up there.
So we allow them advertising on the outfield fence at this point.
That was actually a whole debacle when it was approved. That went through the zoning hearing board, because it's in a residential zoning district where any type of commercial signage is prohibited. So there's a whole zoning hearing board, there's like a legal file like this from when that happened 20+ years ago.
So, but that's still what we rely on today to govern how they can have signage on their outfield, because they still have some today.
It's
Is that-
the zoning hearing board decision that the lease agreement with them, that language is verbatim from the zoning hearing board decision, because the zoning hearing board decision set very strict parameters. You can basically do it from this time to this time.
Is there any way that instead of naming the field per se, could that fall into their advertising in the outfield instead of having to rewrite everything? Would there be a way to suggest that they turn it into a
I don't see why they couldn't.
advertising piece for
Make
the
it a
outfield
vinyl
instead?
vinyl
Like a
banner.
vinyl
like they have
banner
on
and
the
just-
outfield.
Yeah, and then
It's up and then it's down.
They still have to submit it. In the contract, it states that they have to submit it for approval.
so I mean, the way that I would be thinking about it then is instead of, naming the field, maybe they could just like dedicate the season to him. Something along those lines, so we don't need to rewrite everything, so they could just have like a generic sign that says, this season is dedicated to Ed Fromuth, and then just
Well, that's a good
behind
idea.
that in their outfield name.
So the signs in the outfield are April to June, is that correct? Are they up year round, like those
Out up your,
They're not supposed to be, they didn't take them down. They're still up. Yeah. I noticed it when I went to take a picture yesterday that
I
they were
mean,
still up.
the irony is we own the field, so property zoning hearing board decisions go with the owner or not. So we would be the one.
So I mean,
That's
that would,
that idea.
that would be, one of my suggestions going forward, if that would be something that they would be willing to do, make it into one of their vinyl advertising signs to say this season is dedicated to Ed, as opposed to.
For outstanding service or something like that.
With the understanding they need to take their signs down during the time frame to at least specify.
And then that way, we're not setting naming precedents. It's still within the boundaries of what our agreement is with them already. Again, that was where my thoughts ended up after last meeting.
Good idea.
And Jen suggested the plaque in like the home dugout as another option, right?
Or like this?
Yeah, that's what we
concession
told them, yeah, about the plaque, yeah.
So we can kind of give them a couple
I didn't hear your
options.
question, Sally, I'm sorry. What was your question?
Oh, just that, isn't there like a concession stand that they could?
Mhm.
They could,
Or that would be more visible,
Yeah.
probably a concession stand, yeah, because more people would see it than the players.
Do you want to connect back with Jason? Okay.
I wrote them
Not
down.
if they're near the concession stand, so that would be a good option.
So again, I'd like to find a way we can step forward with what they want to do within the confines of what we have. So whether it's the plaque or again, maybe trying to fit something in their advertising, and if they really want to press forward with the naming rights, that might be something we as the rec board would need to make a recommendation on to include in their lease. I could see it not setting a precedent because I'm not sure how many people who request naming rights have official leases with us that we would be able to write it into, so we would have a strict starting and ending point with those naming rights. So I could see it easily aligning with that lease if that's really the way that they want to go. Whether or not that would get through if we make that recommendation would be up to the council body as a whole, but I can still see some pathways forward for them, so. Any other ideas that anybody else had around their signage or suggestions for them?
So just to ask a question again, kind of what Rick was saying, like if we did give them the naming rights when their lease was up, then the name would
The name would
get
come-
stripped off of, like it would go back to just being
I mean, I think that's,
nameless?
Well, I think what we're
Like,
doing is not giving
Giving
them naming rights.
Yeah.
We're saying during your season, instead of in one area where you would normally hang a advertising sign for one of your sponsors,
Right,
just hang a panel that says
Yeah.
this. and
In
then it
special
can-
recognition of,
yeah, okay.
and if they don't want to do it, and if they want to name it, my thought would be, that would be something would need to write into the lease and have those specific recommendations, that this name lasts only for the length of time for the lease. Any signage has to still be up only from X time to Y time. Naming rights revert to the borough at the end of this lease agreement, have to be renegotiated, although standard, if that's really the avenue we want to go. And then that brings in possibly solicitor time to review the contract, which would then get potentially passed back along to the Little League overall. So
Complicated.
I think at this point, maybe do we leave it on there? Do we continue to table? What would be the best course of action at the moment?
I would table it until you definitively know from them that they're okay with this option.
So we'll would anyone like to make a motion to continue to table the naming rights?
Table it.
With motion to table, we have a second. All those in favor of tabling? Aye. Any opposed? Wonderful. So, and on to new business, the fee schedule, our favorite time of the year. So any big changes that we're looking to make? I know, Mike, you said the pool is not recommending any changes. We didn't have a playground meeting this past month due to scheduling conflicts. I don't think we are looking to increase playground fees again based on our last year's conversation, so I think we're looking to try to hold those firm as well. Is that accurate, Randy?
Mhm.
And then I don't know any other fees, the rental fees, I don't think there's an appetite to increase at the moment.
how this is laid out, and I apologize if it's tough to read, but you can see in bold of when the last change was.
Here.
So-
Your resolution, your first four is the year it was adopted.
So those are, you can see when we made these changes. The pool schedule, last year we raised everything except swimnastics. And the thought process behind that was, these are old people. They're on fixed income, they're 80, 85 years old. And do we really want to try to squeeze another $5 out of those people? And last year we made the decision to not do that. And in our pool committee, overwhelmingly, they said the same thing again this year. But you can see over to the right is the gross revenue by year of what was collected for each one of these areas. So we have to have the fee schedule finalized in October as a recommendation, goes to finance, and then goes to eventually Borough Council for approval. Are there any questions about it?
Is there a typo in resident non-pool member under Moonlight Swim? You cannot mean $600.
Where's that?
Moonlight Swim, resident pool member $4, like towards the bottom,
Yep,
go down.
absolutely. That's how we're
Yep.
keeping non-pool
Right.
member access.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come in for $600.
Oh, that's not right. It's supposed to be $6.
I figured, I was like, oh, is that for the whole pool?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's,
For a day.
So I looked at a lot of those. 2 hours.
That's how we keep them
To
out.
see sort of like how many people, and of course it's not opening for me now. And like none of the numbers, the totals actually line up for, well, not all of them. The majority of them do not line up properly with like the resident fee or the daily guest fee. None of those numbers actually line up with the total. It's like 600.34 people. Like they're all off by a few dollars. So I don't know if money's being pocketed by kids or if numbers are wrong, but they're all, none of them, I think the only one that was like,
These are lifted straight out of my rec, so I don't have an answer for you. I took everything straight from my rec.
well, something's off because none of the numbers actually evenly divide.
I don't-
which they should.
I don't think it's money being pocketed, because for it to go through my rec, Phyllis is gonna have an accounting, she's gonna have another way to rec that She would.
Yeah, then I don't know how
But
it's getting.
the
plugged into
swim
my-
stuff isn't through my rack, right? The Moonlight Swim, they pay cash.
No, that's through my rec.
Oh, it is? I
Yep.
thought, what if you show up the night of and you want a bracelet?
Who gets rang in under my rec. They ring it in the register.
Yeah, it's like the resident fee is maybe 19,470, not 73, or like none of them really line up.
Well, wait a second, if you're going back for any year prior, depending when something was
No,
up.
I'm literally just looking at like the daily resident
Just
fee is
looking at this.
$11. And you're saying we brought in $19,473. But that does not evenly calculate,
It should.
cannot, $11 does not go into 19,473.
I gotcha.
And in that case,
And
it
it doesn't,
should,
it
because it's
doesn't,
cash.
it doesn't work for the guest fee, it doesn't work for the twilight fee, it doesn't work for the pool member fee, the non-pool member fee, for Moonlight Swim.
Yes.
Like, a lot of them, they're just, none of them evenly calculate. Because I was just curious as to how many, like, the daily resident fee, it looks like 1,770 people came in as daily residents. That's what I was kind of trying to look at. The guest fee was 265 people. The daily twilight fee was like 383. That one actually came out accurately. But a lot of the other ones didn't, so I'm just curious as to, like, even the guest pass booklet, that didn't come out evenly either. It should be 2720, I presume. I don't know, just none of the numbers. I don't know what's going on in my
Yeah.
rack.
We can certainly fix that, but assuming the numbers are off by 1 plus or minus, you have a general idea of people.
Yeah, they're off by like,
Yeah.
3 to 5 plus or minus.
So, I mean,
I know you have a general
For
idea.
the purpose of the conversation in terms of current fee, years past 3, revenue, does anybody have thoughts or questions?
It is a good point though, because, you know, you say it's off by 3 or 5, but it could be off by more. Like you don't necessarily know that it's only off by 3 or 5.
I would think it's off by 1 plus or minus.
Yeah, it just, you don't know for sure. She raised a good point.
But even so, if we're talking numbers in the 200s or 300s, I don't think 3 to 5 is a substantial.
No, I'm just trying to realize that my
Yeah,
rec is
yeah,
not calculating
yeah,
numbers
yeah.
properly. That's all.
I would say double check with Phyllis.
Okay.
Or like what her budget year numbers were.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, anyone?
I mean, I'll say what I said last year. I think the prices should go up. I think playground should go up to should go up $10 to 165, which is a very minor increase. And it should go from 85 to 90. And I think pool membership should go up. Even if it goes up $5. I think everything is more expensive. I think our expenses are still higher, much higher than our revenues for the programs. So to charge people another $5 or $10 for a season, knowing parents are paying like $1 and change, $1.10 an hour. I don't think another $10 over the course of 9 weeks is a big deal.
Okay. Any other comments?
Increase, what was it?
And then remind me, Randy, is this something we need action on today for the next council meeting, or is this something that we're reviewing today for action on next month to take to the council
So
meeting?
this was to get the board's feedback of how, for me to move forward to prepare the documents for finance meetings. So, not hearing any board members say, hey, we need to change anything, and then you guys make a recommendation. I didn't hear any of that, other than the pool committee saying that, playground committee said that, so.
I mean, the playground committee didn't meet at this point, so we don't have a recommendation from them.
That's what Kristen told me,
Okay, that's fine.
as the chair.
As the chair, I'm just making sure, as the chair of the committee, that can be your opinion, but we did not have the committee meet to say that overall from the committee as a whole. So
Okay.
we'll make sure we get the playground committee to meet this coming month to confirm that overall. Anyone have any other thoughts about raising the fees at the moment or looking to make adjustments?
I don't feel strong either way.
Anybody else have any opinions about the fees staying put or getting increased? So at the moment, if you can run with the projections as we have them right now, and then we'll see if finance makes any recommendations for us to make some adjustments from there. So I guess at this point, we'd be looking for a motion to table them, as we don't have any action at the moment. We want to think about that and come back to next month's meeting if we have any additional feedback for the fee. So would anyone like to make a motion to table approving the 2026 fee schedule?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to table. We have a second to table.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor of tabling the motion? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so we will table the fees to next month, and we'll get those projections as they are and see if we have any other feedback from any of the other committees. And I think that is everything. Did you want to talk about that email, or if it's not on? What do you know? From Kate.
Oh, just so as an FYI, Kate is now coaching Kate Faney is now coaching swimming at the Reading YMCA, and her practice night is Tuesdays, so she's stepping down from the rec board. Unfortunately, it conflicts with her coaching schedule. So
we will go through the process of posting an opening that we have from Finance and Administration. So we will start the process of posting for the open slot. Unless you want to jump straight in.
Maybe it's time.
It's time. I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Thank you.